Hello, amazing people. You are welcome to my channel. If today is the first time here, you are very, very welcome. Thank you so very much for joining. My name is Anna, and here is Anna's Nation, the one and the only Japanese baby. So yeah, today's video is so heartbreaking. I don't know why some people are so wicked. So men, come closer. What is the color of your problems? Why are some of you so wicked? I'm not saying that wickedness is not in every gender. No, that's not what I am saying. This woman spent 10 solid years of her life with this man that she got married to. Because to her, oh, I found the best husband in the world. Oh, God blessed me already. And according to her story, you will listen to the story shortly though. According to her story, before they got married, this man was everything. It's not that they rushed or she just jumped into. No, she took her time. Even her parents, they have a discussion like when we mean communication, not halfway communication. Communicate everything you want in that marriage. Let the person also bring forward whatever he or she wants in that marriage. This woman, she said that she was very vocal about what she wants in marriage. She wants kids, she wants this and she wants that. And this man accepted everything unknowingly to her.
Now, let me tell you about Femi Adeyemi before I tell you what he did to me. Because if I start to talk, if I open my mouth and talk about what Femi did to me, if I start with the betrayal talk, you will not understand completely how this man fooled me. We met in 2012 in a mutual friend's housewarming in DC. I was 28 and he was 38. I was already established. I had a good job. I owned my own apartment. No financial drama at all. I wasn't looking for a man to complete me. I was just looking for a partner. Femi courted me properly. He met with my parents. He even sat with my father for hours. When he proposed to me in 2014, my mother was very happy. My father was very happy. My mother even called him a blessing. Before we got married, we had serious conversations. Conversations that every serious partner will have. We talked about children, our finances, basically our future in general. I wanted children. 3 or 4 children. Family means everything to me, and I let him know that. Femi said he wanted children too. He said he wanted 3 children, and that we will start having kids as soon as we are done with our wedding. It seemed like we were perfect together, so we agreed on that. But what I did not know, what I did not discover until it almost destroyed me is that Femi had quietly walked into a private clinic in Silver Spring, Maryland, and had a vasectomy. Yes, he had a vasectomy. And not just that, he did something else. Something I will never find out until after 10 years. He had a wife in Lagos, registered in court, legally and binded. And he came to America, buried both of those facts, smiled at my father, said I do, and meant absolutely none of it. I was not his wife. I was just his American arrangement. And I will spend 10 years of my life not knowing this. And you think it will be well with you. Femi Adeyemi, it shall never be well with you. This is a true life story. It is not mine, but she gave me permission to share it. And I will tell it in her voice, because that's the only way I do justice to it, so you can feel the pain she has continued to live with up until today. 8 months into our marriage, we started trying for a child, or at least I thought we were trying. Months after months, nothing was happening. I keep telling myself it's normal, bodies are different. Some bodies take more time than the others. And then I started tracking my monthly cycle obsessively. I changed my diet. I stopped drinking entirely. I did everything right. I started taking prenatal vitamins as well. After a whole year, nothing was happening still. I went back to my OBGYN and she ran a couple of tests and the results came back normal. My OBGYN said, try another 6 months and then come back if nothing happens. But this time, come back with your husband. And I told Femi, he just turned around, nodded his head and said nothing else. And that was it. Before you know it, another 6 months passed and nothing still. I cried in grocery stores parking lots. I hid so many pregnancy test kits under my car seat so Femi wouldn't see how many I was buying. And yet every month the test result comes out negative. And then I finally started pushing Femi to go to the doctor with me. But he resisted. He would look at me and said, there is nothing wrong with me. He kept telling me there was nothing wrong with him and that I was stressing myself for nothing and that stress affects fertility as well. But this time I wasn't backing down. I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I pushed harder until he agreed to semen analysis. And guess what? The test result came back 0 sperm. 0 sperm count, you guys. 0 sperm count. And the doctor said it might be a poor sample, and then he should come back next time to try again. And he thanked the doctor, got up and walked away. I walked behind him while we were walking to the car. He seemed so unbothered. And I was like, my husband just found out that he has 0 sperm count, and he seemed not to care. He seemed so unbothered. I should have listened to what that calmness was telling me. I should have listened, but I didn't. And I blamed myself for the next 10 years. And at some point, I was so confused, I didn't know what else to do. So I went ahead and signed up for IVF. And he didn't complain. He didn't try to stop me. He would watch me run towards a wall that he already built. And then he would watch me hit it over and over again. And he would say nothing. IVF is not a simple thing. It takes tons of poking yourself with needle on your stomach every morning. It takes a lot of money. It is not a simple procedure. And this man went with me to every appointment. He drove me to every appointment, held my hand in the waiting room, looked at me with this patient, gentle expression that I thought it was love at the time. And I'm now just finding out that it was never love. Nah, it wasn't love. It was management. It was him keeping me calm, keeping me in the marriage, and keeping me from asking the right questions. On the second round of the IVF, I had a very bad reaction from the hormone injection. I was bedridden for 4 days. I was so bloated. I was feverish. I was in real pain. When I say pain, in real pain. And I remember Femi would bring me soup, sit beside me on the bed, and watch me eat it. And I was thinking to myself, oh, this man loves me. I was wrong. 3 rounds of IVF, 3 failures, 31 negative pregnancy tests across my 4 years of trying. 31. After the 3rd round of the IVF failed, my doctor called us and sat us down, and she said she needed a more thorough analysis of Femi's sperm. After the 3rd round of the IVF failed, my doctor called us and sat us down, and she said she needed a more thorough analysis of Femi's sperm. She specifically said the word vasectomy. She said she wanted to test for it and rule that out. Do you know that Femi sat there with a straight face and did not move at all? And then he turned to the doctor and said, that's not possible. I've never had a procedure with a very straight face. The doctor scheduled a follow-up appointment for us twice, and Femi cancelled it twice. I rescheduled and he cancelled it again. And at this point, I had to rebook another appointment for myself because he obviously do not want to go. And on that day, my car was bad and I needed to order a ride. And Femi has been the one ordering ride for us. I do not have the Uber app in my phone. So I picked up his phone to book the ride myself. And guess what popped up on his phone? His calendar. And on that day, on Wednesday, 2013, everything started unraveling. Everything. And then I decided to scroll down his call log from that week. And there was this specific number that stood out. He had called that number 3 times every day before that Wednesday. So I took the number and then went inside our bathroom, locked the door, sat down inside there and put that number on Google. When I put that number on Google, you guys, guess what popped up? It was a men's health vasectomy clinic that popped up on my phone. I was shocked. I was beyond shocked. I sat down on the cold towels in the bathroom and I stopped breathing for a few seconds. And when I say I stopped breathing, I'm not joking. I stopped breathing for a few seconds. And then the next morning I confronted him. I showed him the clinic number. He looked at the phone number. And then he turned around and looked at me. The expression on his face, the expression on his face, I don't know how to describe it. It was not guilt at all. It was not panic. It was something quieter and more devastating than both of them. That expression was more like a relief. Like a man who has been holding his breath for years and he's finally allowed to exhale. And he turned to me and said, I am sorry, I was going to tell you. And I asked him, when? When were you going to tell me? All this while you were driving me around to hospital back and forth and you knew what you did. When were you going to tell me? Femi, you watched me do 3 IVFs. You watched me inject myself every single morning. And you would think he's sorry. But guess what? He turned around and said, well, the IVF wasn't going to work anyway. And I told him, yes, of course, it wasn't going to work because of you. And you knew it. And you sat down in those waiting rooms every single time, knowing what you did. He did not deny it. He did not even as much as try to deny it at all. He just sat on the kitchen table staring at me. He didn't deny it. And guess what? I haven't even found out the worst yet. After the vasectomy confession, Femi asked me to sit down that he wanted to explain to me. A part of me wanted to walk out. But that part of me that had loved him for 10 years needed to understand. I needed closure. And so I sat down and he told me about a woman before me, a relationship he had in his 20s, how she got pregnant for him and he wanted her to terminate it, but she refused and had that child anyway, and then used the child to tie him down financially. And he became financially and emotionally tied for years. And now it turns out he had a son, a teenage son that I have never been told of for years. Never. A son I never knew existed. His name is Dayo. He was 16 years old and lived 2 hours away in Woodridge, Virginia. And Femi had been visiting him monthly, attending all his football games, and even paying his school fees. Being the warm, present father to Dayo that he had chemically prevented himself from ever being to my children. He said his experience with Dayo's mother had broken something in him, and that the vasectomy was a guarantee that no woman would ever use pregnancy against it again. And then he turned to me and said, in a very low tone, I knew you wanted children, but maybe we can adopt. What about adoption? And I said to him, yes, you knew. And you let me think my body was broken for years. You sat in the doctor's office every time and watched them run tests on me. You watched me bleed and cry, and yet you said nothing. And then he said in a very shaky voice, I didn't know how to tell you. I just didn't know how to tell you. You had a secret vasectomy. You had a secret son. And apparently, a very rehearsed explanation. And still, you didn't know how to tell me in 10 years. He had nothing else to say at that point. But here is the thing about peeling back a man's lies. Each layer you remove reveals another one underneath. I didn't know yet, but guess what? Ronke, Dayo's mother, was about to hand me a shovel. A shovel she has been waiting 10 years to use. I had my husband deported back to Nigeria where he belongs, and this is why. So after my husband confessed to me that he has a secret son from a secret relationship from a woman called Ronke in this same United States, and for 10 years of our marriage, I didn't know about it. I took the woman's name and I searched for her on Facebook. Luckily, she was on Facebook. I left her a message on Facebook, and after 1 hour, she replied. And it was as if she has been waiting for this day to come. So after she replied me on Facebook, we exchanged numbers, and then we started talking on the phone. And that's when she revealed more information to me. During the 10 years of our marriage, Femi had introduced his sister to me, called Blessing, who lives in Nigeria. And she will call me most times. I call her too. I mean, she's my sister-in-law. I will send her money from time to time, especially during festive period. Most Christmas, I send her money. And here is the part that will shock you the most. I'm just finding out from Ronke that this Blessing is not Femi's sister. It is Femi's wife, his legal wife in Nigeria. He married her in church and both in court. They got married 5 years before Femi married me. So now, I had just found out that I am just his American arrangement to adjust his immigration status in America. And so I didn't confront him immediately. I needed to take my time and gather all the paperwork, all the evidence I needed to report him to the immigration. And so I hired an attorney in Nigeria to help me get all the necessary documents, all the court marriage papers that I need to be able to file a report against him. 3 months after that, the attorney contacted me. She said she had every document ready, and I went ahead and I filed the report to immigration. And so he came home one evening, and 2 things were waiting for him. 1, the immigration investigation notice was waiting for him on the kitchen counter. Number 2, me sitting across the table waiting for him. He picked up the notice, opened it and read it, and then sat it down on the table. He turned around and looked at me with an expression I have never seen on his face. For 10 years we have been married. He gently sat down like something had been removed from his legs. And I told him, you called that woman your sister. For 10 years, you called her your sister, Femi. For 10 years, I have sent her Christmas money. For 10 years, I have prayed for her on the phone. While all this while, she was your wife, married in 2009, in court. He tried everything he could that night, crying, begging. He offered me money. He even offered me vasectomy reversal. He said it was okay, that we can now have kids. I told him, the investigation is already open, Femi. There's nothing I can do for you at this point. I mean, your own paperwork is talking for you. Few months later, he was placed in immigration detention center. And 4 months after that, his green card was revoked. He filed in for appeal, and his appeal was denied. And 14 months later, Femi Adeyemi was deported back to Nigeria, where he belongs. And I was in my kitchen sipping tea. My phone was off. There was nothing left for me to witness.
According to this story, he got married 5 years before he met this victim, because this woman now is a victim. This woman that spent 10 solid years with this monster of a man. Right? And he's got an arrangement with his first wife, because the first wife is aware of everything happening. The way he introduced the first wife to this innocent woman, this victim, this current victim now. And she was thinking, oh, okay, she's just a family member. She even said that she used to send gifts to this particular wife in Nigeria, the one that resides in Lagos. And I asked some women, how do you feel doing such thing? How do you feel playing such games to another fellow human, like your fellow woman? You know you are married to this man. You are legally married to this man. And you agreed to use another woman, another human being, to waste her time, to mess her up emotionally, to damage her, to turn her into a beast that tomorrow you people will come out and be saying, oh, women are evil, women are this, women are that. Why? As a woman, why did you agree to such nonsense? Because it's wickedness as far as I'm concerned. That's the height of wickedness. You all wasted 10 solid years of this woman's life and you did not feel anything. Had it been she did not find out, you guys will keep playing this game to end when? Jesus Christ. Some people are so wicked. And to you, the man, you are the most evil person ever lived. She deporting you from USA back to Nigeria is not even enough to pay for the trauma, the pain, the emotional damage, everything, the time you wasted. It's not even enough to pay for what you did to this woman. I don't know. Some of us, the way we treat our fellow human. You watch this woman go through several treatments. You watch this woman cry her eyes out. You watch this woman go through all sorts. Ah, it's not fair. That's all I can say. It's not fair. It's not fair. Jesus Christ. Okay. I don't know. If you have anything to say about this, leave your opinion down in the comment section. All right? Let us have a proper conversation. You know how we do it. Yo, thank you so very much. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye.